this on a stick because hopefully it will help with the background noise. Okay, hopefully this is good enough. There's a spider on my brick. Yeah, okay, so a lot to go over today. I hope that my hand does not get too tired. So, again, I am doing this because I am dedicated to the idea of doing this outside, and it's loud. There's a lot of construction. So this is the plan. Hopefully it looks good when I'm done. Otherwise, who knows how much time I will have wasted. Okay, so hello everyone. Right away, I want to welcome you back to our channel for another video. This is going to be a problem, isn't it? Yes. Filming outside, not easy. Alright, let's try this again. I'm pretty much going to be sticking to my clipboard. I have all my notes on here because I do not trust myself to go off of a script yet. Maybe someday, but that day is also not today. So we're going off a script, so hopefully I can keep this from sounding too boring. Yeah. Okay, what is the problem here? We have too many notes. Okay, I think that is better now. So let's get started. Hello everyone. Right away, I want to thank you for coming back to my channel, our channel, for another video. First things first, I want to address something that I am very excited to talk about, and that is the recent uptick in traffic to this channel. At the time of this video's recording, we have like 150 subs. It's actually 154, so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, it's might not be a lot to these other YouTubers, but it is most definitely a lot to us. It wasn't so long ago that we had like 7 subs, like 20 subs. We were stuck at 35 for longer than I would like to admit, but it is what it is. So thank you a lot. Yeah, getting more views feels good. So that's exciting. Yeah, but so I just want to yeah, my friends and I, we just appreciate it, and we're excited to see if maybe we can do right by this uptick in traffic and not, waste away into obscurity, fade away into obscurity, as it were. Anyways, let's keep moving. We have plenty to talk about today. All right, this is the first of a series of classes dedicated to helping you master what I like to call mankind's oldest intellectual tools. The tools of reading, the tool of reading, and the tool of writing. So that's kind of my one-liner for what I'm trying to do. But I'm going to follow a traditional first day of class route and give you a quick overview. That's kind of what the course, so to speak, is going to be focused around. But also, I got to do the icebreaker. I don't like to do the icebreaker. When you're in class, you probably don't like to do the icebreaker, but I'm doing the icebreaker. So, to break ice. To break ice, I will introduce myself, and I'll add as a side comment that I hope you'll tell me a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in the comments. Yeah, I do hope that you do that, because honestly, I mean, I did just finish saying that we had a recent uptick in traffic, and that's been great, but I hope that I can foster a little bit of classroom-esque energy, but maybe I can do it without having to force people to show up. So if that's the case and you're here voluntarily and you're here because you're interested, I just like inhaled the mic kind of, and you're here because you're interested, say hi in the comments. If you have any suggestions for texts or videos that you'd like me to talk about, let me know in the comments. I'll be saying more about that in a little bit. But for now, we have to keep moving. So comments. Say hi in the comments. Suggestions in the comments. So for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm speaking to the new people. I am Sam, and I am not your teacher. And I am specifically not your English teacher. But what do I mean by this? This is, after all, pertaining to the name of the channel. Well, I don't know I'll be talking about myself an awful lot over the course of, today's episode. Over the course of today's episode and the series more generally. So that being said, I would like to take this time to say a brief word about your teachers. Your teachers have significantly less control, oftentimes, what they teach you than you might realize. But I am, again, not your teacher. I have the control and the power. And if you want for me to talk about a specific writer, artist, text, etc., let me know in the comments. I'm repeating myself a bit, but I want to reiterate the fact that I do exercise maybe a little bit more control than your teacher, who is likely, kind of fettered by a couple of things. I mean, there's like education policy, which I'm not going to like go down that rabbit hole because I don't really feel confident enough to talk about it. But, there are things, I'm sure, policy-wise that, many of us can agree. Schools, school districts, teachers, whatever, there are things people could be doing better policy-wise, but then also limited by the need to communicate information to, whatever it might be, if more than 24 kids at a time. Obviously, I'm doing more now, but I feel, probably, hopefully, maybe not. Who knows how many we're talking to right now. I'm going to try saying not too much, because the first time I recorded this, every fifth word was and not something I want to do. Okay, so control, so maybe in theory I have more control than your teachers. So if there is something in particular pertaining to the subject of English that you would like help with, let me know. It can be about storytelling, creative writing, or just, the boring academic application, whatever, that kind of, very exciting, fun, professional writing. Let me know in the comments. But anyways, moving on. Okay, so as I was saying, I am Sam, and I am not your teacher. Specifically, I am not your English teacher. So a little bit about me. I'm just going to try to move through it quickly enough, so hopefully you don't get bored. Bear with me. The exciting stuff, or the more exciting stuff maybe, is coming soon. So just want to get this out of the way. We have to do it. I'm trying to build a relationship and to connect with an audience, with my students. So let's go. I recently earned my master's degree from the writing seminars at Johns Hopkins University, where I taught 4 reading and writing intensive undergraduate literature courses, including one course of my own creation, which is its own playlist on this channel. It's called, I actually don't know what the playlist is off the top. Yeah, I actually don't know what the playlist is off the top of my head, but I will find it. Meanings to Being, Using Reading and Writing as Tools to Author the Self was the class name, which is a mouthful. But the playlist is there, and it's probably something that would make me cringe if I were to sit down and watch it, but it is there nevertheless and will remain there indefinitely. What else? Okay, so that's what happened with me. I was at the writing seminars because every year, it's an MFA program. Every year, hundreds of people apply, and they accept of the application pool. They accept 4 fiction writers and 4 poets. I was one of the fiction writers. So I say that because it kind of brings me to the next thing that is on my sheet, which is I've been going all in on creative writing for the last 6 or 7 years. It is my greatest passion, and someday I want to write novels. This is kind of why the channel is what it is. I'm interested in creative writing. I'm interested in literature and storytelling. So the channel kind of leans in that direction, I would say, right now. In theory, in my mind it does. I don't know if you would agree or not. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I recently earned my master's, and as soon as I completed my coursework, I basically had a decision to make, which was the traditional tenure track, or something less traditional, but maybe better for my health and my wellness and my mental health and wellness. There's a truck over there. The construction has been going on all summer. It is the end of July. And yeah, it is terrible. I hate it, and it was probably not wise to choose to do this outside, but I'm doing it outside because who doesn't love class outside, even when there is a 10-ton machine polluting the airwaves. Who isn't happy to be in the sun? Okay, where were we? So obviously, I am here talking into a mic that is attached to a stick, which is to say I have taken the less traditional of the 2 routes. So there are a couple of reasons why I decided to take this route, and I feel like anybody who kind of is familiar with what the state of academia, specifically the humanities right now, is across the board, kind of knows what I'm talking about. The market is definitely oversaturated with hopeful employees. There aren't too many places that somebody who went to grad school for creative writing to work outside of an academic environment. This is also conveniently another environment that you can sometimes find these people in, but I have yet to find others. I am hoping that they are out there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I keep getting sidetracked. I enjoy teaching, and I love reading and writing, and I'm hoping that by doing these episodes, will help me hone my craft while at the same time helping you without also indebting you. So I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing. That's why you got to leave me comments. But I don't know where you are. I don't know what you're doing. And yeah, I think that the information that I have to share is worthwhile. It's what I would have taught my students at Hopkins. And for that reason, I think there might be some value to it. But at the same time, I am not going to pretend like I'm in this camp where where, you're going to be charged, $10,000 a semester because you're sitting in my class 3 times a week. $10,000 on top of the other $10,000 courses that you're in. No. So anyways, I'm hoping that I can communicate useful information to you in a way that will not compromise you financially. So hopefully this is helpful, and yeah. Okay, so as I feared, the phone stopped recording, so that's great. I really love it when it does that. I don't know where I was, so I will try to do justice to the riff that is forever lost. So yeah, I've kind of said the about me is over. Hopefully we're transitioning to the more exciting half of the video, although maybe nobody is watching to this point, which is okay with me because I have babbled into the void before and am prepared to do so again. Construction. My point really for doing all of this is that I think reading and writing and storytelling, 3 of my greatest passions, I think studying these subjects, talking about these subjects, familiarizing ourselves with these subjects can reward us in potentially surprising ways. When I was at Hopkins, I used to talk about reading and writing to my students as subjects that help us to practice our social skills in a low-stakes and private environment. When we think about reading and writing, or when going forward thinking about reading and writing, one thing I ask is that you think about reading as kind of it's a archetypal example of what it means to process incoming information, and I think writing is an archetypal example of what it means to formulate and articulate and organize outgoing information. So when we write, I think that we're essentially I think we are essentially becoming better thinkers. We're training ourselves to think, and when we train ourselves to think and to draw upon new words, I think we are also training ourselves to speak. So it's kind of all wrapped up together. And if we want to talk about reading, we can talk about it in the same way, like what the word reading means. This is something I will probably talk about at some point. I've talked about it in the past, not sure what video, sorry, but I'll talk about it at some point. So now I'm going to be discussing the learning goals and a course overview for this fun outside class. So here we go. So as I've already said, I want to help you become a better reader, become a better writer, a better thinker, speaker, etc. I want to help you become better at all of these things without indebting you. I think these are the kind of skills that they do reward us in ways that are surprising, quite frankly. And I think that when we start thinking about these subjects like that, we realize that there's virtually nothing else we can give our time to, no other study that we can give our time to that's going to reward us in the same way. I mean, there is, but they're mankind's oldest intellectual tools for a reason. Literacy. It's, do I have to hype up literacy? I hope not. But maybe at some point. Anyways, learning goals. Basically what I'm telling you is what I'll be telling you throughout this, this course, however long this series ends up being. I'd like to just do it and not stop, but we'll see. I'll basically be telling you the same thing. I'll be taking the same approach that I would have taken in a classroom at Hopkins. When I'll tell you the same things I would tell my undergraduates there. I want to frame the everyday value and importance of reading and writing about what interests you well enough to justify a small amount of your time, even if only for 10 or 15 minutes per day. And I don't necessarily mean giving that time to me to watch these videos, although I do appreciate it. What I really mean is, even if you can only give 10 or 15 minutes to a reading and writing habit every day, I think it is still worthwhile. I think it's still worth your time, because the time adds up. 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day across a week. Let's say 15 minutes, 15 times 7. Is it? I've seen so many mess ups. 105? I think so. 105 minutes a week times 52. I'm not going to do that math, but, times that out across years, and you get no insignificant number. And that's worth understanding, because, I don't know, a few thousand hours of practice as far as your reading comprehension skills and your writing skills over the course of 10 years. I think it comes back. That's my point. That's what I hope you'll agree with me on. But anyways, you'll probably refer to me, and you have already, you'll probably refer to, if you're watching at this point, I suppose. Anyways, you'll probably hear me refer to reading and writing as mankind's oldest intellectual tools over the course of this series. And that's how I like to think about, and that's how I like to contextualize my approach to the subjects, because I think it speaks to the power that practicing. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna go back. Big mistake. So had to go back. So cut. You'll probably hear me refer to reading and writing as mankind's oldest intellectual tools over the course of this series. And you have already a couple of times now. But that's how I like to contextualize my approach to the subjects, because I think it speaks to the power that practicing these subjects can deliver to you. So basically what I'm trying to do when I identify it as mankind's oldest intellectual tools, when I identify them as mankind's oldest intellectual tools, is to get you to understand that we all find ourselves in this place at a particular point in history. And for a long time, there has been this thing called literacy, and we are riding that wave in the 21st century, at least those of us who can read and write with peace and love. And for me, it just, there are days when it sucks. I said already that I've been creative writing for years, pretty much 2 hours a day for the last 6 or 7 years, and some days it is terrible. And the same's true with reading. I always want to read every day, but there are days when I just go to pick up a book and I'm not excited about it or looking forward to it. And sometimes what helps me get through it is I'm like, oh yeah, there's this thing called literacy, and it hasn't been around that long relative to the age of the earth, but there have been people who have been doing it but people have been doing it for a very long time. And maybe that is why I should also do it, even if I don't want to do it right now. And as it turns out, for those of you that are, kind of familiar with your history, the people we tend to remember tend to be relatively good readers and writers. So even if you don't plan to be, historically famous, I would say that's the case for most of us. My point is still that reading and writing, there's proof that it kind of works on this grand global scale across time. And I would assume that the same is true if you just kind of shrink things down, that those who find success in their field so often have some sort of intellectual habit that kind of helps them cultivate themselves into a better person. Is this always true? No. We know it's not always true. But sometimes. But it's true enough. That's what I'm saying. And maybe you disagree. But if you disagree, say something about your disagreement in the comments. But please be nice, because I'm sensitive. Okay. But even more than that, reading and writing are real. Okay. But maybe even more than all of that, reading and writing are really two sides of the same coin. Like I've said before, one deals with processing incoming information and the other deals with organizing outgoing information. So that's important, because information is something we're dealing with all the time. Information, maybe it's the reason why, you have a successful relationship or a failing relationship. Maybe it's the reason why you got a raise at work, or the reason why you were fired. Information matters. The communication of information matters. So that's that. I think learning to effectively employ language can change our lives. I think it can benefit our social lives, our professional lives, our personal lives, our academic lives. Obviously, okay, so am I a literacy maximalist, as it were? To some extent, yes, I am. You caught me. But I really believe that reading and writing, again, for the same reasons I've already said, it's all about communication. It's all about being able to receive and transmit ideas to people. And that's an idea that we'll be talking about next time when we look at a short essay by Stephen King. It's in his book on writing, which is very good. I read it when I was an undergraduate, and I read it then again when I was a graduate student at Hopkins. And we'll be reading, it's a chapter called What Writing Is. So we're going to be talking about that next time. And anyways, what was I saying? Learning to effectively employ language can change our lives for the better. Language is a tool of communication. It's a tool to manipulate the fabric of reality around us in a way that is good for us and also for others. Don't use language to cause pain. That is my tip of the day. So, anyways, do I always follow this advice? No, but I'm giving it, so. Okay, and I hope that by framing the subjects of reading and writing in this way, that I can get you thinking about reading and writing as social exercises. That's really what I think they are. Reading and writing, like I said a moment ago, are mankind's oldest intellectual tools. And the important word here is tool. The same way that a shovel is a tool, or a pickaxe is a tool, a chainsaw is a tool. Your ability to communicate, your ability to use reading and writing as social exercises. These are mankind's oldest intellectual tools. It gets me jacked up. I'm not going to yell because I don't know who is around. But it gets me very excited. And, they're mankind's oldest intellectual tools. When we read and write, we're familiarizing ourselves with whatever language we're speaking. And this is an investment of our time that rewards us across time. So by familiarizing ourselves with a language, we become better at employing that language to some to some self-benefiting end. So you might not think that reading, maybe it's a nonfiction book, maybe it's a fiction book. You might not think that reading those books is going to help you close a deal or help you talk to a girl or a boy that you're interested in. But I think it can, and I think it can in a very mysterious way, and it depends on us just kind of, approaching the task with the goal in mind. So I'll talk more about that later, though. But anyways, we have to keep moving. This is starting to get long. Learning to effectively employ language can change our lives. Did I read this already? I think I did. Learning to employ language can change our lives. Yeah, I did. I did read it. It's fine. We're moving on. Okay, all of this I know is a lot, but my ultimate goal can probably be summarized simply. All of this is a lot, I know, but my ultimate goal can probably be summarized simply as... It can probably be summarized as simply as saying that I want to teach anyone who's interested to master reading and writing English, and to use the language as a tool for the achievement of their goals and the actualization of their full potential. And maybe that sounds a little lofty, but I am not here to waste your time, and I am also not here to waste my time. So that is my defense, that this is worthwhile and that I'm not trying to waste anyone's time. But moving on. Okay, is it recording? It is recording. All right, I am now going to run through a quick overview. Ooh, a bunny was just chased into the yard. I got nervous for a second. 2 of them. All right, all good. So I'm going to run through an overview now. Maybe this is exciting, maybe not. Anyway, if anybody is even still watching, this is really kind of for me. I mean, it's also for you, but like, how many people are really going to watch the first episode? I don't know. I hope, obviously, a lot. Is that likely? Probably not. So, yeah, this is just helpful for me because then I have to stick to this thing. So, anyways, let's run through it. The why. I kind of writing all over this. So, as I've already said, the why. Why am I doing this? The overview. Why am I doing this? I kind of touched on this before. I mean, not kind of is what's written here, but I definitely did touch on it before. I want to hone my craft and to write great books someday. This seems like a good way to... Gotta move my pen. This seems like a good way to keep developing as an artist while at the same time helping others as I would have had I taken the more traditional university/academia route. I'm not trying to work at a university. Maybe you're trying to go, maybe you're not. If you're trying to go, this will definitely help you, hopefully. And if you're not trying to go, this will also definitely help you, hopefully. So we're teaching, but I'm not going to charge you a compromising amount of money. So I'm trying to empower those that are interested in learning about these subjects, as I would my own students at any university. The only difference is I'm outside where it's nice, not in a cold lecture hall. And also my podium/lectern is awesome. It is very sturdy and solid. My podium and lectern, yeah. So that covers the why. I have creative goals, artistic goals, and I also have educational goals for you. And I'm hoping that if I can combine those, then maybe this actually becomes a worthwhile and valuable service instead of just me kind of, I don't know, spewing. Okay, so next up we have the what. Where is the what? Okay, so what this series, this course is. It's going to be a series of lectures discussing short texts and or videos or just whatever resources people send me, hopefully someday, all focused around helping you enjoy, and that's important, helping you enjoy the mastery process of reading and writing. It isn't always easy to get, it isn't. I don't know why I said it isn't always. It isn't easy to improve at different skills, whether it's reading and writing or some other creative endeavor or a sport. Improvement is difficult. So I'm hoping that by approaching the material in the way I'm planning to, that I can make the process of mastering reading and writing more enjoyable and more meaningful, quite frankly. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do. Again, these are skills that can and will reward you in every area of your life, wherever you find yourself Okay. The train is loud, so let's see, we'll talk close and hopefully I can manipulate things so that they work out well. Anyways, the what? Reading and writing, again, as I've said before, are skills that can and will reward. Reading and writing are skills which are, again, like I've already said, skills that can and will reward you whenever you find yourself communicating with another person. And it turns out that communicating with other people is an important skill. So that's kind of, that's my take. The how is up next. So I'll be reading a text or watching a video or, again, whatever's sent to me. In the beginning, I'll be, reading a text that I'm interested in, which I believe... I'll read a text or watch a video I'm interested in, which I believe reading can improve your life in some way using what? Okay. All right, so I'll read a text or watch a video or whatever that I'm interested in, or what people send. Okay, so the how. As far as how I'll be doing this, it's going to be me usually once a week, maybe twice. That's for later, watching a video or reading a text that I'm interested in, which I believe that reading and watching, this kind of content or thinking critically about this content or engaging with it can improve your life in some way using what I'll call really how I'm trying to do this. All right, forgive my horrible swimsuit. I had no idea that I would be stepping. I had no idea that I would be stepping that far back. These are the boys. These are the dogs. These are my partners in crime, as it were. The long one, the bigger one, is Finnegan. The younger one is Moby. Those names came from nowhere. They were not inspired by anything. Finnegan and Moby. But yeah, I love those guys. They're precious angels. They're my precious angels. And I'm hoping I can kind of work them into these videos. But anyways, let's get back to this. Where was I? So the how. I'll read a text or watch a video that I'm interested in. Something which I believe either reading or watching can improve your life in some way using what I'll call kind of like the literacy subjects, which I think of as reading and writing and speaking. I'll let you know in advance what we'll be looking at or what I'll kind of be drawing up in case anyone out there wants to follow along. Starting to... Okay. Regardless of... The phone went off. Anyways, regardless of whether or not you strap in with the text or the video, I'll draw the lecture up in such a way that won't necessarily require you to have read the text, which is to say that I'll basically draw up each weekly or twice a week, which basically means that I'll draw up each lecture as I would have at Johns Hopkins, which is to say that I'll basically be drawing up a lecture as I would if I was teaching, which is to say that I'll basically be drawing up the lecture in a similar way as I would if I were still teaching my undergraduates at Hopkins. So, okay, that's the how. Now what? The when. Twice per week, ideally. I'm hoping to bank enough to make that possible, but at least one per week. And I expect probably the first week or two to only be one episode per week. I'm always going to try. Okay, so that's, yeah. Okay, that is the when. Now let's talk about the where. I'm always going to try to record outside. Unfortunately, the podium is temporary before my girlfriend and I move later this month. So not a whole lot of time left here, but I'm hoping I can get some recording done here. And then when we, move to our next spot, I'm hoping that I can find something there that will be suitable. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try to make it fun. I'm going to try to make it enjoyable. And I hope that you will stick around. Okay, but on to the last part. All right, in closing, I want to say, all right, in closing, I just want to thank you for watching, and I want to thank you for giving some of your time and attention to this channel. My friends and I really appreciate it. Like I said before at the beginning, we recently experienced an uptick in traffic. We're trying to keep it going. Hopefully we don't fade into obscurity. So anyways, thanks for being here and for giving some of your time to this channel. I hope that this, maybe not this video, but the videos to come, I hope that they will prove valuable and useful. And I hope, last but not least, that you will say hi in the comment section down below, or make suggestions in the comment section down below for me to talk about, and tell me how reading and writing might, in the future, or maybe has already, improved the quality of your life. So all of that can go in the comments, and I'll be there, and we can talk. So, anyways, wrapping up. I'm very excited about this. I hope that it is useful, and I want to thank you again for watching. All right, I will see you next time.
Finn. Hello.